Here I'm is. And you know I'm ready to get down to biz. A week ago, I was hanging out with Madman Pondo. Today, working class at the warehouse, I was listening to a little Durondo. And now I'm getting ready to go one-on-one with my main Mondo. So without further ado, will you welcome the one, the only, never lonely, up all night doing it right, Mr. Mondo Braswell. Come on, put your hands together. Put your hands together. Yes, sir. Mondo Braswell.
Hello.
It's great to see you.
How you doing, sir?
So I hear tell you have an interview for old JC, which happens to be me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I did an all-night drive with you recently, and I thought you was interviewing me then.
See, I pride myself on tons of things. I'm a nice guy.
You're a nice guy.
I'm a song and dance man.
You're a song and dance
I've
man.
been known to eat a pizza pie or two. But my number one claim to fame, not to go into business for myself or toot my own horn, but my biggest and most prized classification is not only being the biggest Antiseen fanboy, but being the biggest JC fanboy.
All right.
And when I say JC, I mean Jeff Clayton.
Yes, sir, man. That's how you do it right there.
So I got a bag full of questions, bag full of tricks. All
Man.
will be sweet. Some might be sick.
Well, man, unloosen that bag and let it roll. The people are here. It's time to go.
Okay.
Well, there are not many people here. I see only 6 people on the... Wow, there's more than that here. I see 6 right here. I'm looking at them right now. Alan, Clinton Zilla, Terry Myers, which also means we get Amy Lynn Myers, Matt Gaston, Brandon Yeti. Hey, Brandon, how's it going, man? As you can see, I got a blemish on my face. I got a piece of skin burned off this yesterday. I now know what human flesh burning smells like, and it is as bad as they all describe.
Now, like we believe that.
Yeah.
Now you know what it smells like.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay, so to kick things off, we're going to start this with a little icebreaker.
All right, let's
if
break
you
it.
will. Or as we call them here on Break On Through, some quick fire, rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire quick. Man, I love rapid fire.
Okay, cool.
Let's hit it.
The first thing I got for you, the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering, or the Powers of Pain with #1 Paul Jones.
Powers of Pain with #1 Paul Jones.
Yes. Dunkin', Krispy Kreme, or mom and pop shop donuts.
Krispy Kreme.
Gotcha. Digging in the bag deep for this one.
Man, get it. Go to the bottom of the bag. Pull it out.
Marilyn McCoo or Valerie Simpson.
I'm going with Marilyn McCoo.
Gotcha.
Marilyn McCoo is one of my favorite female vocalists of all time.
Nice. Okay, now they're deep in the bag. Sidney Poitier or Bill Duke?
Sidney Poitier.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because I love the movie To Serve With Love.
Awesome. Okay, in the artistic realm, Pusshead or Jeff Gaither?
I'm going to go with Gaither on this one.
Nice. I can go either way, but definitely dig Gaither. Okay. Brian Jones or Ron Wood?
Ron Wood.
Nice. Another deep in the bag. Jimmy Sespro. I think I pronounced that right. Jimmy Sespro or Bruce Kulick?
Talking about Jimmy Sespro from Aerosmith?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jimmy.
Nice.
Man, he did a great job. It's a hard job.
You know, I was looking on well, you only can trust the internet and Wikipedia so much. I had no idea that he was in Aerosmith as long as he was.
He was in it for a good bit.
Good little bit.
And I saw him with
know.
them. One of the only times I ever saw Aerosmith was with him on guitar and Rick Dufay on second guitar.
Oh, wow. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cassette or 8-track?
Man, I'm going to have to go with 8-track.
Nice. Favorite foreign object?
Sharpened stick.
Nice. Huggy Bear or Big Daddy Rich?
Big Daddy Rich.
Yes, sir. Okay, another deep in the bag. Link Ray or Link Hayes?
Link Ray.
Nice. All right.
North Carolina native, by the way.
All right, cool. And last but not least, Captain Morgan or Captain and Tennille?
That's a tough one. Because back in my drinking days, I did put down some Captain Morgan.
I figured you were a rum man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. See, that's kind of two different pleasures in life.
Right.
I'm going to stick with Captain Morgan on this one.
Nice.
Even though I love me some Captain and Tennille.
Right. Okay. So.
Is that the end of Rapid Fire?
That is the end of Rapid Fire.
Well, we got through that quick.
Yes, sir. We're going to go into some questions.
Okay.
Okay, so early life for Jeffrey K. Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
Late 70s. You go over to your friend's house, and you discover the Ray-mones, and particularly Clayton Hop. Now, you hear a lot of interviews of people who were growing up physically and musically in this period, and they were discovering the Ray-mones for the first time. Now, at this time, you're listening to such groups as Kiss, Aerosmith, whole lot of Alice Cooper, whole lot of Black Oak, Arkansas. But some people, when they're interviewed, they say when they listen to the Ray-mones for the first time, that it made their whole record collection obsolete. So my question is, on that day, after you listened to the Ray-mones for the first time, and you started discovering bands like the Clash and the Sex Pistols, was your record collection at that point obsolete? Were you totally just blinders on, just focusing on that?
Man, I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? I did go through that period for a minute.
Right.
Punk or nothing.
Right.
Punk or nothing. But I did not get rid of all my other records. Man, I still had a stash of Kiss, Cooper, Nugent, Grand Funk, Black Oak, Slade, and all that stuff. Still there. Until, and you know, I developed the anti-scene attitude quickly. It didn't take years and years and years to develop. Like I've told on here before, man, when I came to Charlotte, I was as green as the green grass of home.
Right.
But I made my way and I made my name here really quick.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I don't know how and why, because I mean I had a very few people reaching out to help me, like David Earl from the Charlotte Observer, Scott Savage, the whole staff at the Record Exchange and stuff like that. But very quickly, I was able to see the kind of the absurdity of all this.
Right.
And this was way before all the subcategories They were getting started.
Right.
They were getting started. I don't think they had names. But at that point, man, I said, you know what? I love all this stuff. Grand Funk, Black Oak, all that, you know. And I'm just like, I'm going to keep loving it.
Right.
I don't care. Matter of fact, one of the first logos I ever drew for Antiseen, I drew it on a white T-shirt. And it was the first, I wore it to the very first Antiseen show. Now, what happened to it, I have no idea. But I took permanent magic markers and I drew the Grand Funk pointing finger.
Mm-hmm.
And our name, at first, we considered calling it Antiseen Death Train Railroad. And that's what was on that shirt. Antiseen Death Train Railroad. And I wrote those in red letters. And the Grand Funk point would come back decades later in the form of the gun.
Right.
That came from, you know, those clip art signs that used to be on stores. Never mind the dog.
Right.
Beware the owner.
Yeah.
That kind of, that's where we got that. And so yeah, I mean, I'm like anyone else, man. When I first discovered this new thing of music, I thought I had to be completely dedicated, but I didn't go into it full tilt boogie the way I know some people did.
Right.
And completely got rid of their record collections and stuff like that.
Now, you were talking about genres and splits in the punk rock tree. We haven't talked much personally about it. I know you do like some new wave stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing that kind of struck me as being kind of like weird or odd, when all this stuff was happening, see, I don't consider you're older than me. You're 12 years older than me. I still consider us in the same lane, same wheelhouse. But a lot of things that I was discovering as an 8-year-old, you were discovering as a man, and you were living it as a man. So when I was hearing the Clash for the first time, I was also hearing bands like Def Leppard and The Cure and stuff like that. When you were like in the thick of things here in Charlotte, and you come here, you're listening to Ray-mones, you're listening to Sex Pistols, you're deep in the punk rock scene. Now the new romantic scene kind of comes in. What kind of splints did that make in your personal experiences?
Well, man, the first instance of that I think I was exposed to was right before I left small town New London to come to Charlotte.
Oh, wow.
And that would have been 81. And that's when I discovered Adam and Nance.
Oh, right on.
And so that's what I knew about New Romantic.
Right.
But shortly after, I had bought a single by that group, Japan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were considered that, but they were sure going for that whole vibe.
Right.
And the first Adam and the Ants thing I ever got was that single, Car Trouble.
Right.
And that was before the New Romantic label. But I didn't get a whole bunch into all that, like Spandau Ballet and all that. But whenever I did discover those, it was through girlfriends.
Right.
Who were listening to it. That's how I discovered the Cure.
Right.
I know the Cure is not New Romantic, but, you know,
right.
that kind of music I discovered from girls I was seeing at the time.
Right.
And some of it I did like.
Right.
The woman I'm married to now, she loves that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And she turned me on to a lot of those groups, like now, you know. Now, I know a lot of them are not considered New Romantic, but that whole new wave.
Yeah.
You know.
Potato. It's almost kind of the same thing with different level, as I see it. Okay, so we know you. You're not what. With all that being said, we know from just personal connections with you or seeing you on the show that you're not really what they would call a guilty pleasure type person. You like what you like.
I don't you subscribe to that term at all.
Right. You do you and you don't do anybody else. But I would like to ask, when you were coming up, so being a budding frontman, a lot of the times I pick from people that I like. I certainly steal stuff from you. I steal stuff from Kiss. I steal stuff from Danzig, whether it be body language, whether it be, the way I say a certain word when I'm singing. Even though we see you, and we see you as Jeff Clayton of Antiseen, who are some of the people that you draw frontman inspiration for, aka who do you do when you're on stage?
Well, it's kind of morphed over all these years into, just me doing what I do. But the early formations of it, definitely Alice Cooper, definitely Jim Dandy. Even though I wasn't trying to be the sexy guy, I was trying to be the crazy hillbilly.
Right.
Playing the washboard. And, I don't know, man. I took a lot of stuff. A lot. And when people go back and watch, like young people today, go back and watch the network, the WWE network, and they go back and watch those old territories.
Yeah.
People can say, "Oh man, I see where you."
Right, right.
It's like a lot of our stuff came from that.
Right.
And I've said this 100 times before, and I stick by it. But wrestling, even though we were green marks, just like anybody else at that time, wrestling taught me in particular how to be an entertainer.
Right.
Even though I didn't know that's what I was doing. Because back then I didn't know all that insider smart mark crap. I didn't know any of that. And we're froze. We're back. Okay.
All right. So we good?
We're good.
Okay, cool. All right. So talking about stage presence, persona, but also how it transfers and how it relates to your personal life. You can from seeing footage from the 80s to seeing now, there is one thing in particular about your physical, not really demeanor, but like your fashion choices, if you will, that has changed since back then, and has come to be a permanent staple of your repertoire, of your wardrobe, if you will. So I would like to know the evolution of the sleeveless T-shirt and Jeff Clayton.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm thinking that really kicked in probably around 96, 97.
Right.
And then it just got to where, because man, I'm telling you, I don't think I've worn jeans since then.
Right.
That's when I started wearing the long hair weirdo pants in the mid 90s.
Right.
But they didn't have long hair weirdo on them.
Right.
At the time. I got that done much later after they'd already been Frankenstein to pieces.
Right.
I get that way about stuff, It's like it's gotta be this one. Not one like it, this one.
Right.
And at some point I just said, you know what? I wear black sweatpants and sleeveless t-shirts.
Right.
That's what I wear. And I don't even think if I have a t-shirt that has sleeves on it, that means I didn't wear it.
Right.
Now I've got shirts with sleeves on them, like dress shirts.
Right.
Stuff like that, and some Captain Lou Albano type shirts. But other than that, I don't remember the day that I said, that's it.
Right.
But it did happen.
Reached into the sewing kit, pulled out the scissors.
Yep.
Away with the sleeves. Get a drink real quick.
Man, sometime when I get a whole batch of new shirts, like I got some right there, I got some from the weekend. You know, Pondo laid some on me and stuff.
Right.
I'll lay a big stack, and the first lady will go through them. Now she kind of insists on doing them.
Oh, okay.
Because she says when I do them, it looks like they were chewed off.
Right.
Well, we're freezing again. Oh boy. There we go. We're good. We're good.
So, did you ever cash in on the store-bought perforated sleeves, the ones that basically had?
I had to have tried one to know that I did not like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I call those a trucker tees because you always see a trucker that has big old thick.
Yeah.
Thick. What do you call those things? I guess it's almost kind of like a ringer, like a ringer thing. Okay. So keeping on the realm of t-shirts, and we were kind of talking about this a little bit before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never really heard you ever talk about the origin of this specific t-shirt. But me and a couple of fans, if you will, talked about this before. What is the origin of the Joe Young White Skull Antiseen shirt? Was that, who made those?
Man,
And did y'all do a run of those?
No. We took a trip down to Florida. It was a show that Malcolm Tent had booked for us at the University of Miami. And I think, man, sometime on that trip, and I could be wrong, it could have been when we went to Charleston, but we went down south, we went to a record store, and they had these shirts. Joe bought one, and I bought one. And Joe cut the sleeves out of his, and that was going to be his permanent stage shirt. And he's like, and this had to be before Honor Among Thieves, because Honor Among Thieves is where the Antiseen logo that we use today sprouted from. Well, actually, no. Okay. Actually, it was EP Royalty, but EP Royalty was done third, but came out second.
Right.
So yeah, Honor Among Thieves was the first time that type of logo was used. So we were still using the drastic thing.
Right.
Swirly, it looks more like St. Vitus's logo than ours.
Right.
And so I took a laundry marker and drew it for him on there. And for the life of me, I don't know who got that shirt.
Right.
I know, because Joe was always giving stuff away. Always. And I don't know what happened to it. And I don't even know what happened to mine. I guess it's somewhere along the line. I'm sure I outgrew it. But,
right.
But I don't know who has that shirt.
Right. Well, if you ever need any ideas for t-shirts, I think a lot of people would be really pleased to purchase an Antiseen shirt or hoodie or crew neck with that design on it.
Even with the old logo?
Yeah, I think so.
You really?
Yeah. I might be wrong, but then again, I might be right.
Well, listening audience, you know what I'm going to say now. You got to tell me something. So do it. Let me know. Yeah, we're on a delay.
Okay. There's a few hearts. Okay. So I got one more question for you.
One more?
Yeah, you may want to elaborate on this one a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit.
Okay.
And ask you a question. Now, in the past, you've talked about the relationship and the dynamics between you and Joe Young. Being on the road with you guys, I've noticed that you and Sir Barry Hannibal have this dynamic between each other that I haven't really seen between anybody before. A lot of times y'all are in what Dusty Rhodes would call lockstep. But as soon as something kind of goes south or somebody gets irritated, it's usually over like that. I want you to expound upon that. What do you think?
Give me some more examples of what you see, because I don't think about it.
Right.
I just do it. We just kind of, that lockstep was not something we said we need to get in lockstep.
Right.
It's just something that happens over time. When you spend that much time with someone.
Right.
And look at all the years we've been together.
Right.
I've been with Barry longer than any other member of this band.
Right.
And Joe's been gone for 10 years.
Right.
Well, that period that Barry was gone, I don't even think that was 10 years.
Right.
Was it? I don't think it was.
It wasn't.
It was like 5 or 6.
Right.
So, yeah. It's like when you start working with people on projects, whether they be musical or artistic, there's a certain thing, a certain language that's used to get through. And now I've got new people working with me now on graphics. We got Dave Norton, we got Mike Cook. I got Mike Harper doing some artwork, for me. I got, we're working with Clinton Zilla on some video stuff. And, we work with Jimmy Tutterow, a recording.
Right.
But like I've worked with Mark Rainey for 30 years now.
Right.
There's a certain language used in creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, Barry and I have learned our language. And it's not like we sat there and, okay, here's a language manual.
Right.
Learn it. It's just over the years, man, you learn to use the terms that lets the other people know exactly what you're talking about. And I don't have that completely with all the new people that are working with it. And that's to be expected. I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact.
Right.
But the fact that we can talk, like, some of our phone conversations are, hey, about that track, let's da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, you think we need to, nah, let's just do this. Okay, hang on. We don't need to go into a long preamble,
right,
or anything like that. We just we've got that down. I mean, I'm really starting to get that with Malcolm and Walt. I think I've had it with Malcolm for quite some time, though. Even though I think we still call the same thing different stuff sometimes.
Right.
But eventually, but I've been working with Malcolm in this capacity for 5 years. I've known Malcolm for way longer. Right. And we worked together on stuff back then. So I think this lineup, the Ultra lineup is the Ultra lineup for many reasons. And it's Ultra because, man, you talk about lockstep. You talk about 4 people that's lockstep.
Right.
I ain't had that. I've never had that.
Right.
I've never had that. Never. There was always somebody. When we for the brief second we would get in lockstep. Someone would throw a cog in.
Right.
And I'm not putting it down on any of the former members. I'm just telling you the way it is.
Right.
And even if you did get lockstep with the whole lineup, it was always short-lived.
Right.
Like a week or two.
Well, another thing for about Barry for me, I know you've been around him longer. I've never seen Barry in a different mood. He is always in the same mood. Always in the same mood. Now you're a man like me. You're a man of many moods.
Yeah.
And sometimes when his mood's like this is what I notice. His mood's like this, your mood's like this. You start going this way, he might go like that just a little bit, but then he just says something and does something and you're back on the same path. That's why I admire, because you don't see that a lot.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. I have told Barry many times, I said, now, I used to be more of the hothead than I am today. Way more. Big hothead. And people dreaded coming to me with issues. But man, it seemed like even early on, Barry always knew how to talk to me. Which resulted in, if someone else had something to say to me, they'd go around and get it through Barry first.
Right.
And then make Barry bring it to me.
Yeah.
But I always could tell if it wasn't Barry's. I was like, oh, I know who's been, I know who's talking to you, you know. And Barry is also very, very good at writing. From my perspective, even though we don't sit there and collaborate.
Right.
Hey, what would you say about it? He knows what I would say about this. He knows what I wouldn't say. You know, he's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. Were you in that in that conversation we had going from Atlanta to Charlotte when I got bent out of shape about them not wanting to play Born to Win?
Yeah.
Man, I was going off the rails, boy. I was going off the rails. And Barry just, he just kept driving going. And I'd say something, he'd look at me like, just go back to looking. And then eventually, I'm telling everybody exactly what he said.
Right. Right on. Well, I think I do have one more question.
Man, you got to get some more because we're only at 8 o'clock, son.
Okay, well I can probably.
We started at 7:30 because I thought you was going to be talking, chicken and walking.
Right on. What is the first thing you started collecting?
Let me think here. Comic books.
Comic book.
Hmm.
Was there like a specific type of comic
I
book?
loved all the monster comics.
Right.
Werewolf by Night. Monsters of the Prowl. Monster of Frankenstein. Tomb of Dracula. Me and my brother both collected Spider-Man. But shortly after that, I started getting into the bigger Marvel and Warren comics, like Creepy, Eerie, and Vampirella. Man, the other day I was thinking about something. I want to tell the story now. I wish I had gotten into my magazine. If I knew I was going to tell the story, I would show the issue right now. Look on your phone. Look up Vampirella 70s covers. I want to show the folks something, man. Like, Mom was pretty generous with, buying stuff like that. I mean, you think about what back then a comic book was 25 cents or 20 cents, maybe even 15. I know, like now it's like no big deal, but back then, it kind of meant something. But she was never stingy about it or made us beg or anything like that. But when I started getting the big working class, when I started getting the big magazines, it started getting to be a little bit more of an issue, you know, because some of these the price went up to $1, and that was a big deal.
Right.
$1. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. You know how you push the boundaries when you're young? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all about the day I pushed the boundary, man. And this was in Biloxi, Mississippi. I had just come home from Boy Scout camp. And I think it was a Saturday evening, man. Well, like the camp was like Friday night. And we came home Saturday. That's one I bought right there. But I want to show you the one so you guys will understand exactly what I'm talking about.
You said it started Friday and ended Saturday.
Yeah,
I bet it felt like 3 days.
Yeah, it felt like a month.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting to get too deep into the story because you have to see this cover. You talk about, man, what's going on here, mofo? Can you do another shirt?
Yeah.
Let's see 70s Vampirella. 1970s Vampirella covers. I got a book in there that's nothing but the covers, but I don't never prepare for this kind of stuff because it just comes up. But anyway, we lived in a trailer park called Cedar Lake Mobile Home Village. So all you rednecks, y'all live in trailer parks. See, I lived in a mobile home village. Can you dig that? A village?
Oh, yeah.
So down the street from the village was a little general store. And they had a magazine rack. And that's where I would find this stuff. And man, that Saturday, after coming home from camp, I saw the new issue of Vampirella. And I saw that cover, and my young boy mind was pretty much blown. And I was like, you know, I was kind of sizing the situation. I was like, man, this ain't going to fly. You know, I'm going to walk with this up there, and it's going to be a no-go. You ain't getting that, Hoss. But, man, if I could show it, usually it's the first damn one that pops up because it's so damn out of control.
Right.
I don't know what's going on here. Hold on just a minute. Man, I know I'm spinning my wheels now, but just hold on a second. When I find it, here, I'm just going to go look at one of the others I know was during that same time period and see if they pop up. Man, I hate the internet. You can't find nothing on the internet. All these later day Vampirella covers, man. Get out of here with that.
But what you can find on the internet is Antiseen Big Cartel. Go there right now. Buy you some stuff.
Yeah, tell them about this, man.
Especially Falls Count Anywhere, the new disc by the Ultra lineup Antiseen. Every single wrestling song, including new gems, right here, performed by the Ultra lineup. Dig it?
Yes, sir. Well, listen, y'all, I can't find it. But I'm going to tell y'all what. Here's what the cover was all about. It was a white cover with Vampirella in neon orange. So, of course, that got my attention. But for the first time ever on the magazine, they had her with her back turned to the audience. Hands on hips. Bare butt, except for that little piece of red patent leather going through it. And turning around looking at the audience, at the reader. And I was like, man, this ain't going to go. But I grabbed it. Mom was buying whatever she was buying at the Lil General.
That's not it, is it?
No, that's not. I mean, I'm telling you, when you see it,
Right.
you'll go, oh, okay. But keep going. That might. No, see, that's those newer ones. But I put it in with the stuff, man, and it got rung up, thrown into the bag, and I was like, "Cha!" I don't know if she saw it and just went, "Well, my boy's working on becoming a man." But I don't know. But man, I was holding my breath the whole time.
What year do you think it was?
It was definitely was 72 or 3 or 4. I mean. But yeah, that was the first stuff I started collecting, and then I guess I started collecting records without really knowing. I didn't set out to go, oh, I'm going to collect this, that, and the other.
Right.
I just it's not in there. Jeez. But
thanks, internet.
Man, if I find it, I'm going to post it in the comments. Oh yeah. So you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about up in here. But, well, damn, Mondo, we're winding down, and this is only a little after 8. Man, you got to tell me something.
Okay. So, let's say you got off work today.
I did.
And you were in a horrible mood.
I was in a good mood.
If you were in a horrible mood.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Got off work. You're in a horrible mood. You need some good old tunes to kind of even you out. What song are you going to pick on Spotify to get you in a better mood? What's your go-to?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. It's a group of about 5.
Right.
Man, I can put on Looking Glass, Jimmy Loves Mary Ann.
Right.
I could put on Yvonne Elliman's Hello Stranger. Durando's Didn't I? Or any Hall & Oates from the 70s.
Right.
She's Gone. Sarah Smile. Camellia. Las Vegas Turnaround. Man, that's the kind of stuff I listen to. I know y'all think, oh man, you're just trying to be contrary. No, I'm telling you what I listen to. I'm sorry, I don't listen to groups who their logo looks like all those weeds I cut down today in a pile. I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. And no amount of they do this, they love Gigi, none of that's going to make me like it. So,
right.
I'm not trying to impress anybody. I ain't trying to depress anybody. But that's just the way it is, Captain Biz.
Well, say it's a different day. Get off work, same thing, but you're in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you just walk out the door, say it's the weekend, you're in a great mood, can't wait for the weekend. What song would you pick? Would it kind of be the same stuff?
Well, I guess if I was making a movie, I'd run out to the car to the tune of Everybody's Working for the Weekend. Right?
Right.
But I'm going to tell you something, I ain't running in no car.
Yeah, right.
But, I don't know, man. I guess, see, I've got, anyone can follow me on Spotify. I've got these playlists that I name stuff. Mm-hmm. And I usually make the main picture be an ape or something.
Right.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
And I love putting stuff on shuffle. And I'll just put any of those on shuffle.
Right.
Man, it could be Motorhead, Little Richard, like someone mentioned, when we're talking about Marilyn McCoo, it could be the Fifth Dimension.
Right.
It could be Saxon. Some Scott Savage may pop up.
Right.
Some Thin Lizzy. Some reggae music. I like all that kind of stuff. I like a lot of stuff. And Just, any of that, basically. Ooh. What else you got for me?
So, without going into actual numbers and, I guess, specifics, logistics, as they say, what was the first bigger show or lucrative show Antiseen ever did? Like, you just cannot believe,
man, as far as the first time that happened?
Yeah, first timer in general.
I guess it had to be the first time we went to Europe.
Right.
Because we had a booking agent, and we were getting really good guarantee. We were like, we're getting this much?
Yeah.
They're paying us? Hey, Amy says she sent you that cover in Messenger.
Okay.
Pull it up, catch up. What you trying to do, Mr. Magoo?
Don't be mean, Jelly Bean.
I'm being like it is. I'm being like it is, Mr. Biz. That's Instagram.
I'm just sitting here. Oh, Messenger. Okay.
See, man, you got to get up pretty early to fool me when it comes to high tech. So everyone knows me as Mr. Tech. No, Amy, that's not it. Even though, hold on, let me see. That's not it. This is a newer one. But I'm telling you, they did not capture what a young Jeff Clayton is like walking to the firing squad. I imagine. But no, that's not it. Todd says it's June 1974.
Let's see.
Man, we're going to get to the bottom of it. No pun intended. But we're going to get to the bottom of this. You hear me?
Yeah. Vampirella, June 1974.
That's it. That's it. All right, everybody. Here we go. I'm going to show it to you. Can y'all, man, I know it looks terrible on the camera, on the phone, but Vampirella, June 1974, if you'd like to get a really good view of it. Yes, thank you, Todd. When I'm not prepared, at least some of our viewing audience is. All right, good. Hey, I'm going to ask you something, man. You ever heard a musical group called Saint Etienne?
Saint Etienne?
Yeah.
Not that I'm on. No.
Okay.
Saint Etienne.
Yeah. Man, I learned a lot about groups watching TV shows.
Right.
I was watching The Sopranos one night, and there was a track playing in the background, and I thought, man, that's Sade.
Right.
But I don't know that song, man. I like it. I wonder what it is. You can go and look at, Sopranos episode blah, season blah, music. And they tell you what it was, and it was some group called Saint Etienne. I think that's how you say it, is it?
Right.
Speaking of saying groups wrong, you remember when Mondo was talking about discovering the Ray-mones? Well, man, back in New London, see, we never heard nobody say, this is the Ray-mones. We just read it. We thought it was called the Ray-mones. Man, I got that Ray-mones album over here, son. Oh, okay. I'm coming over to listen to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cretans want to hop some mo. And that's all it took.
Well, it's like sometimes you could hear a word over and over again, but if you see that word for the first time, or if you don't see it often, you may interpret it a different way. Remember me and my buddy Big Round from Macon were at a gas station getting some gas, And on the, so you know how they do those gas station like toppers, like ads or whatever, and I don't remember what company it was, but Joey Fatone from NSYNC was promoting some product.
Okay.
So I look at the sign, and it says Fatone in big letters, but instead of saying Fatone, I immediately say fat one.
Man, you're a weirdo.
I am a weirdo.
No,
Easily amused. We were talking about like discovering stuff. Man, I don't remember what the name of the group was. I think I was listening to Thin Lizzy, and one of their songs were playing, and then out of nowhere, the song started playing. They kind of had the same groove as Thin Lizzy, but it was almost kind of like a reggae or a rock steady band. I can't remember what the name of it was. I did a search for it, and the song was actually, it never really came on. It was like on one of those compilations. It wasn't like they had like an individual like album or anything like that. I don't remember.
Well, I barely started a new saying on this last run. I'm not taking applications for new music.
Right.
And I'm kind of not taking an applicant, but I heard that, and I know some of you on here know what a Sade fan I am. Got that big old box set over there.
Oh, nice.
By the way, speaking of records, this Saturday, right, is Record Store Day?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Repo is going to be open at 8 a.m. with some good stuff for you. So get on over to Repo Record this Saturday morning.
Got anything on your want list this go around?
Yeah, I'm getting that, I think it's like an extended Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe it's just a whole different, Evan, the Ray-mones. That's how we used to say it. I don't know where that sound came from. We didn't see it. Why? Also getting the Faces. You know what I've been on a kick lately? Humble Pie.
Nice.
Did you see that video I posted today?
No.
Or yesterday? Or I don't know when I posted it. Man, it's apparently it said it was a midnight special from 71 or 70 or something like that. I'd never seen it. And one of those hard rock pages posted a clip from it. And I was like, good gosh, this is amazing. This is when they were heavy into that R&B sound.
Right.
But still playing the hard rock. You know what I mean? It's hard to describe, but if you hear it, you know exactly what I mean. But they were doing I Don't Need No Doctor.
Right.
Good gosh, man. It's 8 minutes long, and usually I frown upon that kind of nonsense. But I think it could have gone another 8 minutes.
Right.
It's that good.
No,
Performance, the performance of it and everything.
Right. I have to admit, I haven't listened to too much Small Faces.
Mm-hmm.
What was the main difference between Small Faces and Faces? Because I knew there was Small Faces, then the guy went to Humble Pie.
The Small Faces were led by Steve Marriott.
Yeah.
So when Marriott quit, that's when they got the three other Small Faces stayed. And when Marriott left, they got Rod Stewart and Rod Wood at the same time. And the first record they did as that lineup, they called it Small Faces.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a completely different band.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think they did Small Faces material then.
Right.
Because they wrote, they had 4 really fantastic studio albums that came out in a relatively short time. But they were one of them groups that toured their asses off, opening for everybody all over Europe and the States.
Right.
And Humble Pie did too. But, me personally, I prefer Faces to the Small Faces. Small Faces were more a 60s kind of mod thing, like The Who was on. like that trip that Who was doing first. And but there's some really, really good stuff from the Small Faces. So I'm a big Steve Marriott fan. You know, Steve Marriott influenced a lot of people that you wouldn't suspect. But like, you listen, who do you think influenced Paul Stanley? Two of his biggest influences were Robert Plant and Steve Marriott.
Right.
And you can hear it if you listen.
Right. Speaking of mods.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Emmanuel says Wood Cabin may be the best known for being featured on Sopranos in the episode I Dream of Junie Cosimoto in the background during the murder of Jimmy Altieri. Correct. Yes. And, man, I love that song.
Right.
I don't know nothing. I know you think, well, damn, Clayton, why don't you just play the rest of the damn record? Because I ain't got time. And like I said, I ain't really taking applications for new music. But I did hear that song, and it's not new. Good gosh, that show's 25 years old now.
And what song was that?
Called Wood Cabin by Saint Etienne. The only reason I know Saint Etienne is because there's a Frank Zappa song called that.
Hmm.
What do I know? I don't know anything. Tell me something.
I'm trying to think of something.
Did you have a good time on the run this last week?
I had tons of fun, man. It
was a
great.
good time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a real good time. First time I had a chance to get up to Philadelphia in Ohio, so I was glad to be with y'all doing it. Met some new faces. Saw some familiar faces.
That damn Eat the Turnbuckle Bloodbath Battle Royal, that was something else.
Man, I've been going back and watching videos on YouTube because I couldn't see anything of it.
Man, I couldn't see live.
Right.
You know, until they asked me to come on the stage with them. And I did the last part of Invader One Must Die. And I was looking at that crowd and I was just like, oh my God.
All through the night, like they kept on saying that there was going to be a battle royal this, and I'm well aware of like the no ring matches they have, especially like in the northeast. But I wasn't really sure how they were going to do it, and man, they were all over the place. I mean, I was like thinking because we had like our our own little merch den or whatever. And I was like thinking, well, I'm seeing this stuff on the screen, but you can just see the band, you can't see anything else. And next thing I know, Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon, comes flying through the air and
in the merch area.
Yeah, man. I was like, he's getting close, and he turned away. They were jumping off the bars, man. That was also kind of like the safe space too. Every time somebody got hurt, they would go back around there so they could go back to the dressing room. This one dude, I can't remember what his name is. I think his name was J.J. Allen. Yeah. The dude with the ski mask on and the freaking weed eater. Man, I guess he got ate up by one of those light tubes, man, because he came in the back and his whole arm was like covered in blood. And there was a paramedic that was waiting there. She was just cool and calm, and he's over there like bleeding to death. She just eases her way over there and does her stuff and applies pressure and whatever else, and everything was good to go. But it's freaking wild.
When I was back there talking to Necro Butcher, somebody was talking to him before I got there, and I waited my turn. And this guy had a cut. He looked like a Samoan guy.
A real big dude.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He had a cut right here. Jeez. Man, that stuff was going. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Well, it's like I was telling y'all, not Goldberg, but the other kind of big guy with the handlebar mustache. I can't remember his name.
Well, the guy that used to be from the Woodsman.
Yeah, that guy. I went to tell we were leaving, and as we were going, I wanted to make sure. I'm a Southern gentleman. I want to make sure I tell everybody I had a good time and stuff like that. And I walked by him, And dude, he's just got what I call gravy blood just in his beard.
Yeah,
it's just like congealed all over, man. I was like, I figure he's probably just gonna be like, thanks, man. He's like, oh, thanks, man. He was all in good spirits and stuff like that. So it was a real good time. Each night had a different vibe.
Had a different way of being a good time. Yep.
But it's definitely an adventure, and can't wait for more.
No, you're gonna have it soon.
Yes, sir.
May
coming up.
May 8th. We'll be at the Star Bar in Atlanta, GA, your old stomping ground.
Yes, sir.
May 9th, we will be at the Cherry Street Station?
Tavern, pub.
We'll be at Cherry Street in Chattanooga. Yeah. We played there before. We're going to play there again. It was a great time then. It's going to be a great time this time. On May 10th, we will be at Reggie's in Wilmington, North Carolina. And on the 11th, Saturday, the Tap Yard in Raleigh. Early show, 6:30. Festivities begin at 6:30. It's an outdoor thing. Evan says he bets Star Bar show will be wild. Yeah, I think they're all going to be wild. I think they're going to have their own kind of wild to each one of them.
Yeah, Atlanta can be tricky. You can roll up in there on like a Friday or Saturday. It's like, oh, this is the weekend. This is gonna be crazy. Then you get there and it's just kind of mild. Then you show up on a Wednesday or a Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and everybody's ready to do a little like midweek throwdown.
Tear it up, yeah.
But
it's been a long time since we played the Star Bar.
It was
well over 10 years.
Oh man, it was
maybe well over 15 years, huh?
07 or 08? Maybe 06.
Add that up real quick. What is that? 06, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more than I got fingers. That's 14 years. 13 or 14 or 15. Yeah. Well, we're coming back. On my way back to Georgia. You ever heard that?
Yes, sir. Couldn't tell you who sung it, but I've heard it twice now.
So, we're going to go ahead and call it a day?
Yeah.
All right. It's 8:30. We ended a little early tonight. But man, next week I'll be back on format. I'll have you some top 10, some rapid fire thoughts. And as always, I want to thank y'all for coming and hanging out and listening to us a little bit. Anybody in this area, you want to come be a guest on Break On Through and interview old JC, just let me know. I'll let you come, man. You know, you can ask me the tough questions. I got the tough answers. And I want to thank you, Mondo.
It's been my pleasure.
Right on, brother. Oh, can you hand me that right quick? Yeah. This on sale now. 2 brand new tracks on here. One entitled Thump, written by Walt Wheat. Recorded first, performed live first by Before I Hang. Now, this is the Antiseen Treatment, a tribute to JYD, the Junkyard Dog. Also, and the people that have been getting their CDs already are giving it a rave review.
Oh, yeah.
The Bootleg Preacher. Brand new Antiseen song, Bootleg Preacher, The Ballad of George South, which features George South himself on the track. It's got Antiseen and the Destructo Divas. It is quite the thing. And I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and get it tonight. Can you dig that?
Man, I got my copy and finally listened to my copy on the Sunday we got back. So on the way home, I listened to that probably about 4 times. And every time I got the Bootleg Preacher, and it hits that intro, I just wanted to pull off the side of the road, jump in my car, and walk to an invisible ring. Because it's like a perfect, perfect cadence.
Yeah.
Walk to the ring, do the shoulder thing, throw it off. Or if you George South, wear your jacket for 30 minutes, then take it off. But
yeah, here in the Antiseen
great.
camp, we love us some George South.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
So don't be a goof. Get this tonight. Hell, I have it in the mail to you tomorrow. Well, Mondo, if you could, why don't you turn around there and hit that stop? It's too far for me to reach it now.
Cool.
So, Mr. Mondo Braswell, everybody, give him a big hand.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Listen, you take care. Thank you. Have a great week. Have an even better weekend, and I'll see you back right here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. here on Break On Through. Hit it.
I know, you can see the button.
Did you get it?
No, I don't see that.
No.
No, this is too
Oh, good gosh. They would look like a bunch of idiots on it.
Can't find it, man.
I don't see it either, to tell you the truth.